Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. I'm just going to get straight into it, straight into the commentary today. I'm leaving pretty much Albury to head to Jindabyne on this video, and I'm going to be talking a little bit more in depth about the CFmoto 700 MT. Now, I did a video prior, a couple of days ago, and I did say I was going to put this footage up. So I'm going to probably repeat myself a little bit on some of the information, but I'll probably go in a little bit more depth and also talk about some solutions that I've come up with in the since the last couple of rides with some of the issues I had with the bike. Now, let me just start by saying, it's a Chinese bike. It's a Chinese company. So don't fall off the perch. It's probably a bit sacrilege. In the past, I never thought I'd be ever buying a Chinese bike, but here we are. Look how look how good this thing is. It's a beautiful looking bike. That's what actually drew my attention to purchasing the bike. It was just beautiful to look at. I love the styling. I love the actual design of it. I love the LED lights at the front. The whole thing. It just looks really cool. Now, the reason it does look like that is because CFmoto have engaged a company called Kiska. Now, Kiska were involved in I think the design and the process and branding with KTM and other automotive companies, actually major global companies. So, it's not it's not a cheap machine. It's great value price wise, but you do get an excellent bit of machinery. Now, I'm going to just quickly touch on some of the specs while I'm riding here from the freeway, on the Hume Highway, and I've cut it short. I've cut the video as short as I can. I don't want to bore you with too much of the same thing. So I'll start with the actual engine of the bike. It's a 693cc motorcycle engine, which I personally think these are Kawasaki derived. I said that in the prior video. The frame and everything, it just looks Kawasaki to me. It feels Kawasaki. And how do you know, Chris? Well, I did have two Quackers years ago. The old GPZ 900, the ZZR 1100, and even the linkages actually, I actually used to ride my son's ER 6N when they first came out over a decade ago, and let me tell you, that was the best balanced bike I rode back in the day. And this is pretty much, I would say, along the same track. It's very well balanced. The frame just looks like a Vulcan 650 or Versus Kawasaki. It's the same. I'll be surprised if it's I'll be very surprised if it's not a Kawasaki derived bit of kit. But the 800 MT that they sell, which is more, I would say, an adventure bike, is actually derived with KTM derived engine. So I'm sure that they're using other manufacturers' parts. Now you can see the back swing arm has got the offset suspension, which is only Kawasaki from back in the day had that over a decade ago. So it looks identical, the whole setup, to some of the Kawasaki models. Anyway, nevertheless, the suspension, as I said, the front end on this, I've already spoken in the last video, fantastic. It's already preset from the factory. I haven't had to touch it. It works really well. It just absorbs everything well. The issues I had was the rear suspension, which I did not like. I don't like. I did not like. I think it's only got 45 mil of travel, but what's actually happened is I've had another look at it, and what I had done, when I brought the bike, I just wasn't happy with just the feel of the spring, so I backed it right off. And then I didn't even think, when I actually got on the bike, I thought, hang on a minute, I didn't realize when you jump on the bike and you've backed off the spring and you've only got 45 mil of travel, the bike just sags down and only probably has 20 or 30 mil of travel, if that. So that was a big thing I just discovered just after this Jindabyne trip. So I pulled the bike apart and pretty much wound up the spring. Probably not as harsh as it was from the factory, but I did tighten it up a bit more. So So I think it'll be a lot better. So I still don't like it. I like to have access to the spring and the preload adjustment. It's the actual adjustment on this one is very difficult to access. So I'm not happy about that one. But nevertheless, the brakes on this bike, as I said, I actually said again on the prior video, they're brilliant. The actual the brakes work really well. 300mm at the front discs and 240 at the back. Jindabyne calipers, which is Brembo derived, I believe. They're part of the same company, or I think Brembo owns them, which I find odd. But overall, it's got some great technology on it. Now you can see here the road. This is the Alpine Way heading towards Kosciuszko and Thredbo. The road's beautiful, so far so good, but it gradually deteriorates to a go track. And when I say go track, I mean the actual lines. Thank God we've got lines up to now, but you lose the lines, and then that's when you get in danger of all the crazies on the road that coming around corners, all over the road. Now, talking further about the actual the bike, it's got a 5-inch TFT display, really well, bright, gives you all information, gives you your speed, your battery. It's got smartphone connectivity. It's got integrated navigation. What else is there? Ergonomics. It's got comfortable ergonomics. 840mm seat height, which is a little bit high for me, because I'm a bit of a short ass, and I find the 840mm is a bit too high for me. But I do manage. I only say that because I've got a few injuries, and the mobility's a bit harsh on my body as I get older. But apart from that, once you're riding the bike, it's beautiful. You can see no issue going over all the bumps. This particular trip, though, I did hit a massive pothole. You'll probably see it down the track. And it really jarred me really severely, and it wasn't a joke. And that was probably my fault to a point for actually backing off the spring so much. I did criticise the bike a fair bit in the previous video for the back shock, but if you're going to buy a motorcycle like this, I'd leave the suspension as is from the factory. I mean, the springs as they are. I mean, you can easily change the damping on the rear. It's got a flat screwdriver adjustment. You can just turn it, you can tighten it left or right and loosen it easy. But I'd leave the spring as is from the factory. I think that was probably what caused my my back to jar once I hit that it just bottomed out. You could just feel your fillings shake. You can see the road here. It's gone narrow, and look, it's a great road. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people love this sort of road. It's great, and the scenery is fantastic. But I prefer to have lines on the road, because as you're coming up to the bends, I mean, most people are pretty good, but all it takes is one idiot to come around the corner, and it did happen a couple of times on the way back. Thank God I was okay traveling on my own. I was quite good. I didn't have any issues. But on the return trip a few days later, I did have a couple of incidents where you get some clown fanging around the corners on the car all over the road, and it was quite frightening actually. So you don't get any second chances on a bike, unfortunately. So all that aside, we're heading out to Kosciuszko and Thredbo. Now, the other thing I like about the bike is it's just so flickable around the bends. I'm not a fancy rider. I won't say I'm a super duper Wayne Gardner or nothing, but you just got enough power to keep up with the big boys. Like my brother and my uncle were up already in Jindabyne with their BMWs, the 1200s, the GSs, and sure, they got a lot more power and probably better bikes, but I wasn't embarrassed or far behind, so I was able to keep up with them quite easily, and no issues there. It was quite good. Now you can see some of the photos, or some of the images I should say. Just look at the looks of the bike, look fantastic, I think. And you can see there the upright position, very comfortable. You've got good ergonomics. The ergonomics on that are brilliant, I think, and the styling on the bike are really nice. I really I think it's one of the best looking bikes around, in my opinion, anyway. And the twin cylinder it just puts out a nice sound as well. You know, you haven't got the old buzz box engine type sound of the old fours, the big powerful Jap fours that I used to ride. It's got a nice little rumble to it. And look, at the end of the day, you know, at this age, you know, I mean, I'm not interested in breaking any world records. I just enjoy going on the road and you know, traveling and exploring places. I think it's probably one of the most therapeutic experiences you can do, I guess. And it's you know, especially the way the world is now, I think it's quite relaxing and healing when you're on the road. You just have to concentrate on the corners, just be, you know, what's the word, become one with the bike. I know it sounds, what's the word, you know, it sounds a little bit blasé, that term's been flogged to death, but really, when you're, you know, depending on your machine, you just have to work together, and you become literally one with the machine. You can just see it, even with this Insta360 that I'm using, the footage, you can just see it's just flowing, and the bike's handling everything really well. The other thing too is the mirrors on the bike are really good too. I've got great visibility. I've had other bikes in the past, and the mirrors, because I'm a 5XL on the jacket, you know, I'm 120 odd kilos, and you just can't see behind you for the life of you. So these mirrors have been really good. I was really happy about that. So you can also see the handguards. They were actually all included with the bike as well. Now they're not bark busters where they've got the actual metal frame behind it to protect your hands, but they one thing they do is they, you know, in the elements, in the rain or cold wind, they do keep the elements away from your hands. So that's a real plus. That I never thought I'd you know, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy something like that on the bike, but let me tell you, if you're touring, it's the best. It's really good. All these little things help. So yeah, I was fortunate. I was very lucky that the weather wasn't too bad. It was pretty warm on this day. I think I left on the Saturday, the 20th of January, which was really warm, from Albury down to Jindabyne. The weather was pretty good. It was hot though, and because I haven't ridden long trips like this for probably, you know, well over a decade, it does take its toll on you. You do feel it. And that's another thing I'll probably invest in, is one of those bladders. I think it's a must, those things, by the look of it. Now, the other thing too, I don't know about other motorcyclists. Everyone uses their phone, their connectivity and all that stuff, and I actually invested in one, and on the way back I ripped it out of the helmet because it was just irritating my ears, and even my mouth in front of the helmet there was just a nuisance. So I don't know how other people have that stuff on them. I think I'm a bit old school. I like just traveling without anything in the helmet, no interference. Now, I don't know what your thoughts are on these angles on the Insta360 on the footage, but a lot of the videos I've seen, they're just pointed forward, and that's all you see. So I've tried to keep it as interesting as possible on the actual footage. So I've cut it short as I can, the actual whole trip. But yeah, overall, it was a great trip. The bike went really well. You know, there was no issues, no misses, no nothing. It was really a very smooth trip. Now I'll probably just give it a rest here for a moment, and just come back on a little bit later on in the video as we get closer to Threadbow and closer to Jindabyne, because it's pretty much the same thing. You know, the landscape's very similar, all from Cancoban right up to just before Threadbow. Now I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I've missed on the bike. I don't know if anyone else has got other thoughts on this thing, on this particular model, if anyone's looking to buy this particular bike. Now, I brought mine from Albury dealer, Buzz Bikes and Bits or whatever, but not sponsored or anything like that. But yeah, so far so good. The bloke's been pretty good to me, so he's looked after me so far. Oh yeah, the fuel economy too on on the bike. On the actual TFT screen, it said averaging 4.4 litres per 100 kilometres. So you got an 18 litre tank. So I don't know. You work it out, I guess. 18 litre tank. What's that? 312. Yeah, I've gone blank. Sorry, guys. Yeah, but the economy was really good. No issues there. If you thrash it, you're going to go through the petrol, of course. The other thing too, it's got ABS on the bike, and the tyres that come with it are really good. The CSTs. And now I'm probably again trying to think if I've missed anything, because I did mention the tyres on the last video. They were really good. They worked really well. Profile on them was good. They roll really well into the corners, and you can see years ago when I was riding the GPZ 900 and the ZZR 1100, you'd be flying through the corners and trying to hang off your bike, putting your knees out and all this. I don't know, these adventure bikes now, I think these new what's the word, era of bikes are totally different. Like the GS BMWs, the 1200s, you can see you don't have to hang no knee off or nothing. And same with this, I don't think you have to hang off the bike, unless you're doing something really, really crazy, but that's you're on your own there. But I found it really easy to corner. You don't have to hang off the bike. You just roll into the corner with the tyres. They worked well. I didn't have any issues on the grip. The grip was really good, and they just worked really well, really well. See, this is the part where I jarred myself. This is where I went over a bad pothole. I had to actually I had to actually pull over where I got a bit further up. It was just such a hard knock. I haven't been hit like that for a long time. It really jarred me. So yeah, it really bucked me off like a horse off the saddle. Just up from there, I'll probably be pulling over soon and having a bit of a spell, not a spell, I should say, a rest. And that's the only thing. I like I said, with the suspension, I would have preferred if it was easier to adjust. But overall, I'm beginning to bed in with the bike. I'm beginning to adjust, and the more you tinker, the more you ride, the more you seem to find out what you need to. I guess you get to know your bike, your machine better. You're pretty. I guess you begin to like it a lot more, if that makes sense. So here I am. I'm about to pull over, man. That really shook me, that hit. So yeah, that was quite harsh. But anyway, I've just pulled over here. I've just got off, said me prayers. Thank you, Lord, for getting me here thus far safely, and then off we go. Had a drink. Only one car stopped to see if I'm all right, by the way. So if you're travelling on your own, don't expect any cars to stop and check up on you. All right, so we're going right along now. The road's pretty twisty. There wasn't too much traffic on this day too, I've got to say. There was more traffic when I was coming back on the Monday, so I was pretty lucky. Tell you what, the fresh air and the just to get out is just fantastic. Okay, so very shortly the roads are going to go from just this plain like sealed road. Further up, it's going to go to a better sealed road and yellow lines, which is associated mainly with the Alpine, like even the Vic High Country, and even in New South Wales, the High Country with the snow. They seem to, I don't know, the road from Thredbo to Jindabyne seems to be really, a lot better maintained, a lot better surface, and marked well, safer. Whereas this part, I don't know why, for the life of me, why they leave it the way it is. And actually the speed limit on most of these parts is only 60 kilometres or 80 kilometres. So, you're travelling high, like I don't know. I just don't know why that is so. I don't know. But anyway, all right. So I'll just leave the video play for a bit, and we'll catch a bit later on. We'll catch you in a Okay, so back again. Here we are on the yellow lines. You can see the surface of the road has improved dramatically. I think we're just passing all the resorts there, Perisher and Thredbo and all that on the left. Now it's pretty much January, summer, so all of these people, or not all of them, but a lot of people come up here with their mountain bike riding and other activities, and I guess it's got probably the best facilities out there for that sort of stuff. Now, in winter, it's obviously got the snowboarders and the skiers and everything else. But from this point on, I really enjoyed the trip. I must admit, once we got to the resorts and the road was a lot safer, I did feel at ease. And you're not too far now from Jindabyne, so we're getting a lot closer to it. So if anyone's planning to do a trip, to Jindabyne, if you're out this way, or actually a lot of people come up to Albury as a I guess a stopping point, and they do their travels. The Victorian High Country, or places like this. Now, one of the things I got to say, since moving up to Albury, I'm I didn't move here for that reason, but the location is very central. So when I say central, if you love your fishing, you can go, your freshwater fishing, or your water sports, even on the Lake Hume, and there's a lot of lakes in the area. But if you love travelling like we do, we usually get in the car on a nice day and go out to Beechworth or Yakadanda, and we take some of the back roads, and you'll find some farmers there with their eggs at the front. All these little things, simple things that give you pleasure, I guess, as you get older. Now, we like to get organic stuff as much as we can whenever we find it on the side of the road. A lot of farmers do that. Thank God for that. Which is probably fewer now as time goes on, but it is nice. Now, we do a lot of touring on the road in the car as well, so I only brought the motorcycle start of November, I think it was, or November. So I haven't really ridden for probably over a decade. I did have a scooter beforehand for a few months, and which was great. It was a great little scooter, but the only thing, it had too many limitations on the suspension and the riding position. So unfortunately, being short travel, I think scooters are more designed for city roads, smooth roads. If you hit a pothole or something like that, it'll just throw you off the bike. It was really jarring. So I didn't last too long with the scooter, unfortunately. I did sell that, and it went to a good home. The guy, I believe, travels in the city, so that was good. That was a good win-win. Now, as I said, I didn't imagine I'd be travelling on a motorcycle from Albury, but the location is really good. You can get down to Brighton in just over an hour, and from there you can head off to the mountains like Mount Beauty, Mount Hotham. You can do tours, to Midamida, which I did a few days ago as well. The roads are fantastic. So there's a few other roads I want to tackle, and I want to go to Omeo and Bairnsdale probably in the next few months. That's one thing that I've got on the back of my head there, on the back burner. So Albury seems to be a good location to I guess to stop over, and if you're travelling by bike or car, a lot of caravanners and whatnot seem to rock up there. But yeah, even coming to Lake Jindabyne, it was quite an experience. It actually wasn't a bad, as tiring as I imagined it would have been. So I think the location and access to a lot of these bike roads is fantastic. So maybe I'll try and include as much of my rides in as I can, especially northern Victoria. And Victoria's got the high country, places like Lacola and all these other places, Dargo. They've got some really great roads for on-road and off-road. Now, a few years ago, a couple of years ago, I was in the Blue Mountains in a little place called Lithgow, and we would travel everywhere from there. It was like a central location for like places like Hill End and Safala and whatnot. So we did a lot of road trips. I didn't ride a bike then, but there are a lot of people on adventure bikes that go through there and go off-road. A lot of four-wheel drivers up in the Blue Mountains that use, I guess, they go through Lithgow to go to all these places. And same again now coming down here to Albury, I find similarities or similarities that we have is pretty. It's pretty ironic, really, that I can go to all these places especially with a bike. It's opened up a whole new what's the word? A window of opportunity. Would that be the right description? I don't know. But one thing I'll say is, if you love your motorcycling, northern Victoria and even in New South Wales, some of the roads in New South are brilliant. Now, you're getting close to Jindabyne. You can see the landscape's already changing, and very shortly we'll be heading over to. You'll see the lake. Now, you can see even so far the bike has been really good. The bike has been, you can see upright position. I haven't budged too much. I'm pretty comfortable. It's effortless to like turn into a corner with this bike. It's as I said, it's actually. I'm surprised for a 700cc motorcycle. I would never think that on a long distance machine, because back in the day, 10, 20 years ago, when you'd be riding a big ball motorcycle, you think you'd have to have a 1000 or a 1100 bike to do these long trips. That was the mindset back then. But now with modern bikes, technology, and the whole chassis being totally different and more modern, I think this bike I'm planning to do some more rides and also put some videos up. I love putting the videos up, and that's pretty much it, really. So here we go now. We're just facing Jindabyne. We're just coming over the what is it, the mountain or the opening there. You can start to see the lake. So, by the way, too, a lot of you off-roaders that go off-road, you know this area. You pass Barry Way and Tom Groggin's station and all that, and the campground. So I've seen so many videos with all these names and what is it, that Dead Horse Gap or whatever it's called, and the like. And it's funny when you're travelling through there. You go, oh yeah, I've seen that on someone else's video. You think, wow. But most people who travel, who ride bikes, who are serious bike riders, they know all these roads. They know all these what's the word? Landmarks. So yeah, so that was a great trip. It was a good weekend. I met up with like I said, my brother was there with his BMW, and my uncle there with their GSs. They're old. What would you call those bikes? Gigantors. They're massive bikes. They just look so big to me. They look so intimidating. I don't know if I could handle such a big thing like that. But here we are. We just come off the Alpine Way into Jindabyne, and that's pretty much it. The video, I'm going to end the video just as I ride into Jindabyne. But I've got to say that I've got a bit more footage as well on the return trip. Actually, on the return trip, it got pretty cold. Which was good. I was overheating in my jacket. It looks cool, but it's actually quite hot today, travelling in the bike. I've also got some footage of Charlotte's Pass, or whatever, the another little nice road that we did while we were up there. But I don't want to bore everyone with too much information on the video. I've had a great time, even just looking back at the video. It's just an adventure. It was great. It was and it was really great having a nice bike to go in just to get you there and back in one piece. That's the big plus. But nevertheless, I had to think what else I wanted to say too. Just want to say one other thing too. With the before I wrap it up, the bike that I actually brought the way it is with the crash bars and everything was pretty much 10,200 drive away. I think I might have mentioned that on the previous video as well. But for 10 grand, you get yourself a bike with 3-year warranty, all the crash bars, all the technology, the ABS, everything, and I think for a brand new bike drive away at that price, you can't go wrong. Now, if you're more serious, I don't know, you want a bigger bike, you can go for the 800 MTs. I think they're a lot more powerful, and not only that, they're also more designed for off-road as well. Whereas, I'm happy with mine. So anyway, look guys, if you've watched the video up until now, I really appreciate it. I know this is not, I'm not the perfect speaker and whatnot, but I like to just have a chat, just like, let you know what I think of the bike. But since coming back, I want to make a few other modifications, even to the foot pegs, and a couple of bits and pieces. I've ordered a rack for the back so I can put a top box on it because I'm planning to do a lot more touring, and I'll see how that goes. I'll see if we can get something up on video. But yeah, look, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments, please feel free. I appreciate the feedback. Look, I'm no expert on this stuff, but thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, hopefully.